we are going to talk about a social experiment that took place back in 2002 that shows the comparing and contrasting boys and girls being left to their own devices.
Yes. Okay. If you want it, we can do that. I think we have some time.
Do it.
Let's do it. Let's do that.
Okay.
Today.
So this took place in 2002. Again, this was a social experiment that was put together by Channel 4. I don't know if that was even, I think it was in the United States. I'm pretty sure it was in the United States. Maybe not. It could have been in the UK. But essentially what they did is they took a house and they said, we're going to take 10 boys that are around 10 to 12 years old.
Yeah, 11 years old. Uh-huh.
They don't know each other. We're going to throw these strange young boys together in this house. Before we do that, we're going to give them instructions on how to cook food. They're going to get a week-long training, like a boot camp on how to live on their own without adult supervision. And we're going to teach them how to cook. We're going to teach them how to do things. There's going to be all kinds of safety protocols in place. There's going to be cameras everywhere. They're going to have a way to reach adult help immediately if they need it. But we're just going to see what happens when there are no rules and they just are left to their own devices. And then they did the same thing with girls. Here's a video summary of how both went, and then we can talk about it.
The experiment left 10 boys to live alone for a week to see what they'd do without any adult supervision. The house was stocked with toys and a kitchen full of food, and the only adults around were the cameramen who didn't interfere. They wanted to find out how protective parents need to be over their children and see how dependent the children are on their parents. The boys aged 11 and 12 were all complete strangers, and it only took a few hours before the house was completely destroyed. They voted on a leader, lived off mostly sugary snacks, and it quickly turned into a Lord of the Flies type situation with a pecking order established. They ran the same experiment a year later, but this time with all girls, and they had the same conditions as the boys. All strangers, no adults, all under one roof. There wasn't nearly as much destruction, and all the girls moved into one single room. They took turns making proper meals for the group, divided chores, and all did their part around the house. But bullying eventually started, which led the girls to divide in factions and reside on different sides of the home.
And actually 2 girls left before the week was even over.
Because of it's interesting how they call the girls, they call it bullying there. And then with the boys, I don't think they use that word. I just find that so interesting.
Yeah. You know? Well, and the bullying was very mild. Like it really wasn't all that bad. Although 2 girls did decide to leave early. But the reaction to this has just been like, boys suck, essentially.
I got to tell you, I'd rather live in the boys' house.
They had a lot more fun.
Yeah. I'd rather live in the boys' house. And I would, because it just seemed like it would be more fun. Because the girls, they all moved in the same room. It's like, and then girls are tricky, man. They're
caretakers. Like people that still say there are no biological differences.
Oh, my God.
They're natural caretakers.
Without question.
They want
an order
to be taken care of. They want turns. You know what I mean? Like,
and boys,
it's a freaking free for all.
It is a free for all. Girls want order. They want boundaries. They want a sense of, we need to have some sort of a method to our madness here. They do. They want a routine. Girls want fairness. A routine.
They want to establish boundaries and fairness.
And they set the routine. They want to set the routine. Boys want somebody to set the routine for them. I mean, like, how many women out there do that? Like, do it for their households.
You guys, I know we've talked to you about Aura before, but it is now more important than ever. If you have a social security number, and I know that you do, then you potentially have had your information impacted and stolen and put out there into the dark web for nefarious characters to do God knows what with it.
They're nefarious.
They're nefarious.
They
and
are.
You can protect yourself and your privacy and the privacy of your family by just going to aura.com/chicks. It's AURA.com/chicks. You can get a 14-day free trial to see right away, instantly, if any of your data has been exposed. And then once you have Aura, and you decide you're going to keep it because you'll love it and it's important for you to have it, you're going to have identity theft protection. You're going to have credit monitoring, fraud alerts, digital security, financial account monitoring, dark web monitoring, family protection, all of these things that a lot of people pay separate little membership fees for here and there. It's all under the Aura umbrella. So try it for free. Just see if your data has been exposed. It can't hurt to at least see at aura.com/.
We are the ones who kind of run our households. It may make men mad when I say that, but we do it. Men and women are inherently different. I kind of run the household in a way, you know what I mean? My husband is the head of the household, but when it comes to day-to-day activities, I'm like, here's the schedule, people. This is what's happening, except for I don't really cook. I probably would have enjoyed the boys' house much better because I like all the food that they had in there, and it would have been kind of fun to do that. But
the fact that not a single one of them took the initiative to actually feed themselves and do what they were taught to do literally days before that. They didn't use any of the healthy food or things to actually make a meal.
Right.
They just ate cereal and whatever was easy and sugary and bad for you.
It's like a giant
whole week.
It's a giant frat house.
Exactly.
Giant frat house. It was like just an 11-year-old frat house is what it was. And then the girls are like, it was kind of predictable when I saw that because girls do that. And then they form cliques.
Yeah.
And I have a teenage girl and we have an older girl and I've seen all that happen. And it's so like there's drama and there's always that girl is not going to be friends with this girl. And it's like, we go through all that stuff and it's, I hate that stuff, you guys.
But at least you're fed and you're clean.
Right. And there's order and everybody goes to bed at 10 o'clock and gets up at 6. You know what I mean? Like and
I don't know like if you can really take this experiment and draw like any serious conclusions from it, except, because obviously their own parents play a factor in how they behave.
Except one, and that is that we are different.
Right.
We are different. The sexes are different. And you cannot deny that. You really can't.
Yeah.
I mean, you could probably have some more specifics under that, some specific bullet points under the fact that we are different. But yeah, I think that is the conclusion, is that men and women, it's Mars and Venus, man. And if you think otherwise,
well together.
We do go so well. We complement each other so beautifully. We need each other.
I kind of wish that like the last part of this experiment would have been that same group of boys and girls living together. And then I would have loved to have seen, what do they do when they're all together? Do the girls calm down the boys?
Yeah, but they can't
behave. Do they take part in the chores? Do they participate better?
Right.
I bet you it would have been a much more successful week.
Well, that's Big Brother. That's the show Big Brother. And you couldn't have 11 and 12-year-old kids living together because then it would have been a hormone fest.
Not at that age, you think?
Oh, yeah.
12?
Yeah, 11 and 12. It would have been, it would have been like, oh my God, he's so cute. And then the girls would have really ganged up on each other because they would have been like, I think he's cute. I think he's cute. He's mine.
My God. See,
it would have been a whole other set of problems.
No, I want to believe that it would have been perfect. It would have been like the perfect blending of the sexes.
Yeah, so James is with me. 12-year-old boys, all hormones. It would have created a whole other set of problems if you put the boys and girls together.
Okay, well, maybe 10-year-olds. 10-year-olds.
Okay.
Across the board.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
I think that would have been more.
Yeah, Lori's like, you get it. You see it. I know these things. She forgets. She's got an 18-year-old. She forgets what it was like. But it's true. But they're different. We need each other. We love each other. It's like we complement. God did not mess up.
Yeah.
Yeah. He didn't make mistakes.